In the vast, sun-scorched deserts of pre-Islamic Arabia, where tribal law was absolute and a man's worth was measured by his lineage, a legend was born in chains. This is the story of Antarah ibn Shaddād, a name that would echo through the ages, spoken with reverence and awe. His father was a respected warrior of the Banu Abs tribe, but his mother was an Ethiopian princess captured in war and enslaved. Because of his mother's status, Antarah was born a slave, his dark skin a constant reminder of his lowly station in a society that valued pure Arab blood above all else. He was known as an Arab crow, a cruel taunt that followed him through his youth. For years, Antarah was denied his rightful heritage. He was assigned the duties of a servant, tending to the camels and serving the very warriors he longed to join. Yet within this young slave beat the heart of a lion. He possessed immense strength, courage that bordered on recklessness, and a spirit that refused to be broken. He watched the tribal warriors train, mimicking their movements in secret, honing his skills with the spear and the sword. He was a natural fighter, his power and agility unmatched. But more than that, he had a soul that overflowed with poetry. In the quiet solitude of the desert, he composed verses of longing, love, and a fierce desire for freedom. His heart belonged to his cousin, Abla. She was the daughter of a chief, beautiful and noble, but their love seemed impossible. He was a slave, she was freeborn. The social chasm between them was as wide as the desert itself. Yet, his love for her became the fire that fueled his ambition. He poured his feelings into passionate poems, verses that spoke of her beauty, his devotion, and the pain of his unrequited love. These weren't just simple rhymes. They were masterpieces of language, filled with vivid imagery of the desert, the thrill of battle, and the raw emotion of a man fighting for his place in the world. The turning point for Antarah came, as it often does in the desert, with the threat of war. A rival tribe launched a surprise raid on the Banu Abs, threatening their homes and their honour. The Abs warriors fought bravely, but they were outnumbered. In the heat of the battle, Antarah's father, Shaddād, saw the chaos and desperation. He turned to his powerful son, who had been ordered to stay behind with the women and camels, and commanded him to fight. But Antarah, with years of resentment boiling inside him, famously retorted, "A slave knows not how to charge nor how to defend. He is only good for milking goats and binding their udders." His father, desperate, made him a promise that would change history. "Charge, Antarah," he declared, "and you are free." Those were the only words Antarah needed to hear. He grabbed a spear and a sword and plunged into the fray like a force of nature. He fought with the fury of a man who had everything to prove and nothing to lose. His strength was terrifying, his skill breathtaking. He cut through the enemy ranks, a whirlwind of steel and courage, turning the tide of the battle almost single-handedly. That day, he didn't just save his tribe, he seized his freedom. True to his word, Shaddād acknowledged Antarah as his son, granting him the freedom and status he had craved his entire life. But freedom was just the beginning of his struggle. He still had to earn the respect of his tribe and win the hand of Abla. He did so the only way he knew how, on the battlefield and through his poetry. Antarah became the fiercest champion of the Banu Abs. Whenever danger loomed, it was Antarah they called upon. His name became a symbol of victory. In epic duels and sprawling battles, he proved his valor time and time again, his heroic deeds becoming the stuff of legend. And with every battle won, his poetic voice grew stronger. His odes, known as qasidas, were recited around campfires across the Arabian Peninsula. He wrote of the clash of swords, the thunder of hooves, the loyalty of his warhorse, and the stark beauty of the desert landscape. But always he returned to his love for Abla. He described her smile, the grace of her movements, and his unending quest to be worthy of her. His poetry was so powerful, so moving, that it captured the hearts of all who heard it. His masterpiece, the ode that would grant him immortality, begins with a classic poetic trope, the poet stopping at the abandoned ruins of his beloved's campsite. But from there, it blossoms into an epic of self-reflection, a chronicle of his battles and a testament to his unbreakable will. He describes his own prowess in combat, not out of arrogance, but as a way of proving his worth, of showing the world that this former slave was the equal of any nobleman. This magnificent poem was so revered that legend says it was chosen as one of the 7 Muʿallaqāt, the hanging odes, masterpieces of Arabic poetry that were said to be embroidered in gold thread and hung on the walls of the sacred Kaaba in Mecca for all to admire. Imagine the significance of this, the words of a man born a slave, displayed in the most sacred place in Arabia. Antarah had transcended his birth, his social status, and the prejudices of his time through the sheer force of his will, his courage in battle, and the genius of his poetry. He had fought not just with a spear but with a pen, carving out a new identity for himself from the stone of societal rejection. Antarah's story is more than just a tale of a warrior. It's a story about honour, identity, and the relentless pursuit of dignity. He challenged the rigid social structure of his era, proving that a person's worth is defined by their character and actions, not their birth. He lived by a code of chivalry that valued courage, generosity, and the protection of the weak. His life became a blueprint for the ideal Arabian knight. Even in his later years, Antarah remained a formidable warrior. He continued to defend his tribe and his honour until his final breath, falling in battle as the hero he had always been. But his death was not the end. His story and his poems lived on, passed down from generation to generation. He became the central figure of a grand romantic epic, Sirat Antar, a collection of tales that embellished his life into a sprawling saga of adventure, romance, and heroism, which has been compared to Europe's Arthurian legends. Today, Antarah ibn Shaddād is remembered not as a slave, but as one of the greatest heroes of the Arab world. A warrior who won his freedom with his sword and achieved immortality with his words. His life is a timeless testament to the idea that no matter the circumstances of your birth, you have the power to write your own destiny. From the dust of the desert, his voice still rises, a powerful ode to love, honour, and the indomitable strength of the human spirit. Thanks for joining us on this journey into the past. If you love epic stories like this, make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more legends from history. We'll see you next time.